What's up guys, it's Demon Fighter, and today I'm going to be reviewing the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figure. I've had this figure since March, and I was actually lucky enough to find this guy on Amazon at a reasonable price. Because, man, this guy, every time this guy went up for pre-order, he just sold out fast. Every time he went on pre-order for Amazon. But anyway, looking at the packaging for this guy, you can see the front of the packaging, you got a plastic window that will show Spawn inside along with his accessory, which I'll get into in a minute. Also inside, you can see right there you have his little Mortal Kombat display base, but I think I'm just gonna leave it in there for now, because as you can see, he kind of stands pretty well on his own. Anyway, side of the packaging, you got an image of Spawn right here. And on this side, you can see it says Mortal Kombat. And on the back here, you got a nice product image of Spawn. Right here it says 22 moving parts. So that's pretty much 22 points of articulation. Alright, now let's move the packaging and Spawn aside, and we'll take a look at his accessory. Alright, so looking at the only accessory that Spawn has, as you can see, we have his sword, which looks pretty cool. You got a nice red handle here with some black shading. We got the Spawn logo right there. The camera can focus. Come on. There. Kind of messy on this side too. Okay, for some reason my camera just won't focus. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and then we got the Spawn logo on this side of the blade too, even though the paint is a bit messy, but that's okay. Still looks pretty cool. Nice sculpted detail all around. Good clean paint job with some nice shading. Very, very nice. This is pretty much my biggest complaint with this figure, is the lack of accessories. All he gets is a sword. I mean, I know that they're also re-releasing this figure. That's going to come with the mace, but if I were them, I would release like an accessory pack for this guy. That way he comes with a whole bunch of weapons. You know, it comes with a mace, maybe an axe, maybe like a couple guns maybe, and maybe some green energy effects. You know, like for his necroplasm. You know, something like that. I feel like that would be a smart move for them, but oh well, I can dream, can I? But, you know, despite the lack of accessories, this is still a pretty cool looking sword. Not gonna lie. Alright, I'm just gonna put the sword down. And let's take a closer look at Spawn here. So, let's see. So McFarlane Toys, they did a pretty good job with this guy. He looks really, really good. Especially like the way the head came out. Especially the green eyes. The green eyes look really good. We got some black shading around him. Very nice. The white looks pretty good around his face and his torso. Very nice. The cape looks pretty good too. Nicely sculpted and painted with some shading all around as well. Very, very good. You got his gauntlets right here. Now these spikes on it can be a bit pointy, so be careful when handling it. Very, very good. You also got his chain belt right here. I also wish this guy also came with like, I don't know, like some posable chains or something. I know a few people have like made custom chains or even custom cloth or bendy wire capes for this guy, which is pretty cool. So yeah, not really much to complain here. Like, he just looks really good. The paint and sculpt work just looks really good. Maybe, I mean, even if you look closer, you can see he does have some black shading around his body, which looks very good. These pouches are nicely done. Very, very nice. You can see the back of the figure if you just lift the cape up. The knees could be a bit better. I mean, especially when you bend them. I don't know, it looks kind of, I don't know, ugly or something. Like, I wish they kind of bulked up. I wish they bulked up his kneecaps, but that's okay. And of course, we got his feet here. Now, this boot piece right here, it can kind of get in the way when posing his right ankle here, which I'll get into in a moment. But other than that, looks pretty nice. Very, very pleased. Alright, so let's move on to the articulation for this guy. He can look up about this much, look down this much. You get some left to right movement, and you get some head tilting as well. The head is on a double ball peg, so that is very good. So you do get a very good wide range of movement. Shoulders can extend out that much. You get full rotation, bicep rotation, double jointed knees that bend a little bit more than 90 degrees, so that's good. You also have wrist rotation, and you also have the wrist hinge as well. He has a diaphragm joint. You get pretty good amount of rotation, a little bit of pivoting, and some crunching forward and back. Waist joint, you get, again, good amount of rotation out of it. Good amount of pivoting and good crunching forward and back. So using both joints together, crunch forward pretty far and lean back pretty far. And a good amount of pivoting. So very good articulation for the torso. Hips can extend out about that far. That's good. Now this is pretty much the only point of the articulation that kind of bothers me. They didn't really give him any good thigh rotation at all. Like, look at that. I try to rotate the leg through the hip joints and I just can't. He's lacking some thigh articulation. But anyway, double jointed knees, and yeah, again, I kind of wish they kind of bulked up his kneecap because it's kind of ugly, but you do get a good range of movement for both legs. All right, so the ankle joints. Now, as I said, this boot piece can kind of get in the way of posing his right ankle right here, but you can't move it down that much. Can't really move it up at all, and you can't really get any rotation out of it. And you can kind of pivot it just a little bit. Whereas this ankle, you do get a better range of movement. So you can move out that much, move down that much. You can rotate it all the way, and you do get a pretty good amount of ankle pivot. That's actually really good. And, oh yeah, and of course he has a toe joint, but looks kind of ugly. So yeah, despite the lack of thigh rotation, this Spawn figure has some really nice articulation. Like, you're going to get this guy into some really cool Spawn-like poses, whether it's from the Mortal Kombat 11 game or from the comics. Whatever pose you want to get him into, I think it can be done. Looks really cool. Alright, now, let's get into height measurements. Oh, sorry. He almost fell down. Try to straighten you up a bit. Come on, stand up, man. Alright, now let's get into height measurements and then size comparisons. Alright, so measuring the height of Al Simmons, he stands at about 7¼ inches tall to the top of his head. And to compare Spawn next to a couple of Mortal Kombat figures from Storm Collectibles, we have Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And as you can see, the scaling works pretty well between these guys. I think Spawn scales pretty well. Also, I'm still debating if I should do a review of this Sub-Zero figure, because even though he has different accessories and different color paint job, of course, he's still the same body mold and articulation as this guy. And here's Spawn next to another hellish warrior. We have the Marvel Legends Ghost Rider. And yeah, these two don't really scale with each other at all. Maybe you can make them work if you pose them around. I don't know. That's really up to you. Also, between these two, who do you guys think would win in a fight? And here's Spawn next to the NECA Toys God of War 3 Kratos. And yeah, Kratos should not be taller than Spawn. In fact, I think these two should be around the same height, like around 6 feet or something. But yeah, this scaling doesn't work either. Well, at least if you have them standing up straight like this, yeah, it's not going to work. But if you pose them around, yeah, I'm sure it'll look better. And finally, to compare Spawn next to a couple godly characters from other toy lines, we have the SH Figure Arts Beerus and the Marvel Legends Infinity War movie Thor. I may do a Throwback Thursday review of this guy. Yeah, just because Beerus is actually going to be featured in the next Death Battle. As for his opponent, we still have no idea who yet. So despite my complaints of this guy having a lack of accessories and a lack of thigh rotation, I still really love this figure. This is an awesome Spawn figure. In fact, I think this is like the first fully articulated Spawn figure that McFarlane Toys has released in years. And you know what? This is a very, very good one. I think this figure might be one of my favorites of the year so far. So if you like Mortal Kombat or Spawn, or if you like collecting figures from McFarlane Toys, I highly recommend you get this guy if you haven't already. But if you want, you can wait for the re-release of this guy that comes with the mace instead of the sword. It's really up to you. Either way, it's still the same figure. And hey, I'm still hoping that they release some kind of accessory pack for this guy that comes with like a bunch of different weapons, like an axe, guns, maybe even some posable chains, and maybe some green necroplasm effects. That'd be pretty neat too. And I gotta say, I am loving Spawn in MK11. He's actually one of my mains right now, along with Joker and Noob Sidebot. But yeah, I love this figure, and I love Spawn in MK11, especially the fact that they brought Keith David to voice him. That makes me happy. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, feel free to subscribe, click that notification bell so you know when I upload. And until next time, have a nice day, everybody.